G2 family, what's good with you? It's your boy 2A in LA, and as always, fam, anything I say in this episode, prior episodes, and future episodes is just my personal opinion. Don't take it as fact, don't take it as law. Always do your own homework and come up with your own conclusions. Right about now, fam, I should go ahead and tap that like button for your boy. If you're new to the channel, I want to say welcome. Come on in. You can join the congregation by smashing that subscribe button and requesting all post notifications. And if you are an existing supporter of this channel, I appreciate you more than you can possibly imagine. You are the reason this channel is anything. All right, family, let's get this episode rolling. So this is a conversation I've been having for a little while now. I've been having it in private circles with friends and colleagues and with individuals like Covert, where I work, who I work closely with, and other people in the industry. And I thought it was time that I had the conversation with you. And so the conversation evolves kind of around, when should you buy a 2011? What's the right time? As somebody with an economics background, a finance background, I will tell you that generally speaking, you can't time the market. It's very difficult to do it. People who have decades of education and experience can't do it. Right? So the layman probably cannot do it as well. And often I find that people who kind of stand on the sideline and who are paralyzed with making decision, it's kind of paralysis by analysis, if you will. I find that these people often end up missing the wave, or they jump in too late to their detriment. And just looking at how the 2011 market has exploded in recent times, I've seen this happen on numerous occasions. And why don't I just kind of talk you through some examples. So when the Jacob Gray TWC9 came out, Jacob Gray was a brand new gun manufacturer. They had a background, I believe, in aerospace. The owners, though, had a passion for gun. They were excellent machinists. And when they dropped the TWC9, and it was an all-metal firearm, really, really well machined, good trigger, and they put it in that $2,500 price point, I remember the day I came to Covert and told them, hey guys, have you heard of this gun? No? Well, let me tell you about it. And here's why I think you guys should be looking at it, right? Fast forward, the TWC9 Black comes out. And then the Covert limited edition comes out. Then the Jacob Gray Hex comes out. Now all of a sudden, a $2,500 gun is now a $3,500 gun and climbing. Now, I can also remember when I bought my Atlas Gun Works Arabus. And you guys know for a long, long time, this was considered the best shooting gun in my collection, the best gun that I owned. And I got on YouTube and I ranted and raved about how phenomenal this gun was. And, you know, some people listened to me and others and picked up an Arabus, right? I want to say I bought my Arabus for about $6,000, maybe a little over $6,000. It was in stock at the time. If you were one of those people who were like, oh, I want an Arabus, but I don't know. Oh, $6,000 is so much for a gun. And it is. And it is. But you want to buy the same gun today, not only is it going to cost you $8,000, but you're going to be waiting almost 2 years probably to get one. Another gun that comes to mind was my Legion Precision Shyrack. I got this gun, and I remember when it came into Covert early on, when Covert had the first couple come in. And again, An all metal gun, chili grip, great trigger, great componentry, really, really well made. This gun was the 5-inch version was $3,500. And I was like, what? I get all of that for $3,500? Now the gun is $4,500. And they're almost impossible to find. Now I can also remember when I got my Venom. Now, Venom guns are not cheap to begin with, so let's start there. But I can remember when they were readily available. And now if you want a Venom, good luck. Good luck. The price has gone up depending on which model you get. Prices are going up and will continue, in my opinion, to do so as lead times extend out. So, you know, I think Don and Covert have kind of shut down their books for a while they try to clear out some of this backlog. To me, the most glaring kind of example of this phenomena is Hayes. I remember when Hayes first came into the shop and I got my hands on it and I felt it and couldn't believe how smooth and well manufactured the gun was. And you could get like a kind of base gun Hayes for like close to $5,000, maybe even a little sub $5,000. And for the fully blown model like you see here, ported with the island barrel and the colorway and all of that, this gun was $6,500. Now this gun is $8,000 and you're probably talking about a 2-year wait time. So my point to all of this is twofold. There are new companies coming into the marketplace, right? And if they pull out a quality product at a reasonable price relative to the kind of financial space or price point that they're in, that gun is probably going to blow up. And if you wait too long, you're likely not going to be able to purchase that gun for those discounted prices, right? Or you have companies like Venom, like Hayes, like Rafferty, and like a lot of others, Phoenix Trinity, for example, that have been around making guns forever. Forever. They're not new to this. But because the 2011 market has exploded and they've become, people realize the high level of quality that they provide, and now everybody wants one. Demand has caused these guns to go up in price despite there being many more players. Like I said, from an economic perspective, you would think the more players you have, the more competition, the better it is for consumer prices to go down. But there is segmentation in these spaces, and that is true for some and the polar opposite for others. What we've seen on kind of the high end with the Atlas, the Hayes, the Rafferty, the Venom, the Infinity, their demand has increased and people are willing to pay more money than they have historically and to wait longer to acquire them. So that's what's going on. Now, what I would like to do, the way I would kind of like to end or wrap up this video, is talk to you about the guns that I see on the horizon. Like, what's the gun you should not be staying on the sideline to buy? All right, the first one I want to talk about is the Cardinal G2. I will put up a picture of the G2. This gun debuted in 2025. A lot of people were like, oh, another 2011 from some company I've never heard of. Not realizing that the company that makes Optimum has been around forever. And they've been making guns for some of the most popular 2011 manufacturers out there, right? They just been kind of private labeling, either private labeling the gun as a whole, or providing the majority of the parts for a lot of these firearms. And so Cardinal is a phenomenal looking gun, a phenomenal shooting gun. It has great DNA, and it's emanating from a company that's been around for a really, really long time. I've gotten a Cardinal on order. It should be in momentarily, but because of my relationship with Covert, I've had the opportunity to shoot and, you know, be around those guns, because Covert was one of the, I think, the first dealer to get the Cardinal. So that's one. If I'm you, I think Cardinal is coming in the mid five, somewhere in there. If I'm you and I really want one and I have the money to buy, I'm not waiting to see. I'm not waiting to see. I think as different iterations of the guns come out, that price, similar to what you saw with Jacob Gray, is going to creep up and up and up and up. And so if you want a Cardinal G2, holler at Covert or your local Cardinal dealer and, you know, jump on it sooner rather than later. The next gun that I see really blowing up is the Miller Precision X Covert, the comp and ported gun. To have a comp and ported gun with a Miller Precision grip, all metal gun, really good construction. To have that gun be in like the mid fours, there's so much demand. When I dropped that gun on social media, people went crazy. When I did the review of the prototype gun, people went crazy. That gun is going to be coming out probably in the next 30 to 60 days. Might even be already out by the time this video airs. Don't sleep on this gun. Miller Precision does a really good job. And while they're new to gun making, they've been in the gun space creating forever, obviously on the grip side of it. So they understand quality control because they're making grips for some of the biggest gun manufacturers out there. And so I would really, really have my eye on the Miller Precision Covert collaboration comped and ported gun. The next gun that I would be really, really looking at is the Masterpiece Arms DS9 hybrid TC, which is the comped barrel version. They've also got ported versions. And look, I told you guys that this is by far the best sub $4,000 2011 on the market, in my opinion. And is better than guns that are significantly more expensive, $1,000 to $1,500 more expensive. It's phenomenal that Masterpiece Arms is able to produce a gun this good at the price point that it's at. But again, and Masterpiece Arms is another one of these companies that have been making guns for a long time. They've already had the rookie dents and the bumps and the bruises and have come out the other side, and they are producing phenomenal shooting guns. I just don't see them staying in that price space. I could definitely see this gun in a year from now being $4,500, $4,800, $5,000. So if you have an opportunity to pick one up, this is one of the ones that I would definitely be thinking about. The other gun I would be considering, and I'll put a picture or some footage up there for it, is the Honcho V2. I was the first YouTuber, I'm pretty sure, to do a gun review on the collaboration with Covert and Phoenix Trinity, the Honcho V2. And I'll admit, like, the gun really wasn't on my radar as one to purchase. I wanted to get the review done because I wanted to learn about the gun and wanted to get information out to you. It wasn't until I shot it that I was like, oh my God, this gun is crazy. Crazy. And I talked to my man Jeff at the Weapons Collective. I said, Jeff, you gotta pick this gun up. I talked to my man Major Havoc on his, and same thing. All of a sudden, Jeff drops his review. Oh, it's the best gun I've ever shot, you know. And Major Hat, oh, it's the most fun gun I've ever shot. I paired it up against my now $8,000 Atlas Arabus and told you guys that from a shootability perspective, it's better. It's a better shooting experience, right? I don't know that gun, and that's not a cheap gun now, it's $6,500, but for what it is and for the way that it shoots, I could definitely see that gun being a $7,000, $7,500, $8,000 gun. Now, I think to get there, Phoenix Trinity probably needs to kind of step up their manufacturing process a little bit, get the gun wound a little bit tighter, but still, if demand is there, the price will rise. And the shootability of that gun is unlike anything else that's out in the market right now. Another example of a company that's been around a long time, been making guns for a long time, but maybe just didn't have the market. Maybe from a design perspective, it was a little bit behind the curve, that it's really stepped up its game, is Cosen Arms. You guys know that I have this Cosen Arms 3.5 inch that is now, you know, kind of one of my EDC guns. This gun is phenomenal. And I'll go ahead and I'll put up some pictures of some of the later iteration designs that are out now. Look even better. So Cosen back in the day was like a $3,000 gun. This is a $4,000 gun. I think the new ones are kind of be in that $4,000 to $4,500 range. It is very possible, as Cosen keeps, you know, improving upon their manufacturing process, improving their designs. They're getting people like me out here talking about them and doing reviews on them. Their guns could be the next $5,000, $5,500 gun. Don't sleep on Cosen. The other gun I feel like people should be keeping an eye out on is Race City Defense, the RC9. I think this is a phenomenally made gun. This gun scored like, I want to say it was like an 89 out of a possible 100 on my scale for a gun that's in the mid 4s. You don't see that. And they're another one of these companies with every iteration of gun that I see, they keep getting better and better and better and more innovative. It's not going to be long, in my opinion. I know the guys over at Race City Defense, great guys too. So let me just put that out there. But I say I don't have any inside. They haven't told me this, but I just think that when you have quality like that, that compares with the Fowler Industries of the world, the Combat Precisions of the world, and other guns like that are at $5,500, $6,000, $6,500, and your gun is $4,500 and getting better by the day. Yeah, you're probably, my guess is that in a year from now or a year and a half, you're not going to be able to get a Race City Defense gun for $4,000 or $4,500. And so this is another gun. Race City Defense is another gun that I would really, really have my eyes on. All right, fam, there's a few other brands that are going to be dropping out here soon that you should take a look at. Rogue Tactical is one. I'm going to get my hands on that gun. Viking Firearms is another one I'm talking to now. I'm going to get my hands on one of their guns, and there's a few others. But I would say, I did a video a while back saying you should be skeptical of some of these brand new to market 2011 manufacturers who you've never heard of before, who want $6,000, $7,000, $9,000 for a gun. You're probably better served to choose a company, if you're paying that kind of money, that has been around, that has a proven track record. I think there's a lot of truth to that. But I would say do your homework. Some of these companies like Cardinal Firearms, for instance, for all intents and purposes, that company's been around forever. Forever. And so that's one that you should be jumping on. And some of these other, like, people think, oh, Venom popped up yesterday. No. Venom has been making guns for a decade. Venom has been around for a long time. People are like, oh, Hayes. But no, Hayes has been around forever. Forever. Rafferty been around forever. Some of these companies you just never heard of because they didn't have the market. They were very kind of niche, kind of competition, high-end collectors pieces. But now that the 2011 market has exploded, more and more people are finding out about them because of channels like mine and others, that you can't to wait. Oftentimes, procrastination is to your detriment. And so I say here all the time, I'm not here to sell you guns. I don't care what you buy at all. I don't get any kickbacks from Covert or any of the gun manufacturers that I'm talking about here today. Nada. I get nothing back from them. This is really more about me trying to educate you on the space and how these things move. A lot of times I hear people saying, oh, 2A in LA got that gun from Venom because he's a content creator. Or 2A in LA got that combat precision gun before anybody else because he's a content creator. And they just want to get it in his hands. And that's how he got the Lucky Devil. No, I got those guns because I was first in. I got those kind of guns because I don't procrastinate. When I know I want something, I pick it up. Because I understand that a lot of times there's a short window for some of these opportunities. And so look, fam, I just thought I'd share that with you. Like I said, this is a conversation that I've been having with friends and colleagues and other industry folks for a while now. And I just thought I should share it with you guys. So if you're one of those people who like to sit on the sidelines and wait and let everything play out before you make your purchase, just know in the kind of dynamic world that we're playing in now, it could not be to your benefit to do so. I think taking a little time to make an informed decision is wise. I think procrastinating when you don't have to and standing on the sidelines will cost you opportunity. And I see that in all walks of life. All right? That's it for this episode, fam. Until next time, as always, take care of one another and peace.